What is the best extreme demon in Geometry Dash? That question is asked a ton, but there's not any answer that most people agree on. In today's video, I'm going to count down my 10 favorite extremes, and if you disagree, since you probably will, tell me in the comments what your opinion is. Make sure to like, subscribe, and watch my Twitch streams where I play all kinds of levels and create too. Anyway, let's get right into number 10. I started with 24 levels that had to fit 10 spots, so even if a level is barely on the list, it beat out a bunch of other great levels to get there. So I wanted to give a few honorable mentions. Cybernetic Crescent by Viper and More, True Effect by Cycle and Rainstorm, and Spectrum's Rave by Ryder and More just barely missed the top 10. Starting off the list is a classic Mega Collab from mid 2.1 that doesn't get any credit for being way ahead of its time. Artifice by Felix Ram, Osiris, and More is truly an amazing Mega Collab. The decoration, and especially the gameplay, is consistent in quality. While the balancing sure could use some work, it really isn't too big of an issue after you play the level for a bit and it gets consistent. But the choke points are something that I did want to point out, as they get frustrating to play after a while. The wave at 15, the ships at 57, 61, and 81 to 86 are parts that stand out as being the hardest parts of the level. But that's all the issues with the gameplay. Other than that, the level is near perfect in its layout, with fun and flowy gameplay throughout. When it comes to decoration, only Nahuel, Dasumari, and Angry Boys parts don't look the greatest, but that's a small fraction of the level. And the part I wanted to point out as being very good is Felix Ram's part. While it is too hard, that's the part at 81 to 86, the base gameplay is so intense and it gets your adrenaline really going. The sudden slow pace as it changed from the rest of the level being in 4 times speed for the most part is really interesting and well done. The sync is great too, which dials in your focus and adds some intensity. And then it goes perfectly into the final part, Yakimaru, which is probably the best part of the level. Darwin's gameplay flows well and has good sync, and the decoration is great as expected from Yakimaru. A similar part to this is Osiris and Chase's part, with fun gameplay from Chase and epic decoration from Osiris. Yeah, Artifice is just a really good level. At the 9th spot is Quayar by Viper and More. This is probably the best decorated level on the list, actually. All of the parts have great cohesion while looking stunning too. I mean, what do you expect from creators like Enzor, Goose, Rayford, and Zinnergame having parts in this level? The rainbow color scheme is there throughout the whole level without being messy, which I feel is an issue for a lot of rainbow levels. Rayford's part is one that I want to focus on as it feels like you're going through a mountain. It still keeps the color scheme with the rest of the level, but has a totally different feeling from the rest. It also flows into the next part, Bionox, very well. All in all, the decoration in Quayar is unique and amazing, not losing quality for a single moment. But then we get to the gameplay. If this had gameplay that was as fun as the Extreme Demon at the number 1 spot, this level could completely be there instead. The balancing of Quayar isn't the best, especially in Flash's part. The black and red orb combination in the ship just isn't very fun. A lot of the timing based parts throughout the level feel forced in a way, and I feel like this level would work so much better as a hard or insane demon. I feel like it was buffed to be an extreme demon or something. But Quayar is still great, and very deserving of its spot on this list. Anyway, on to the next level. This level is probably the least expected one on the list. Jamboree by Just John is a Spectrum Cyclone inspired extended list demon, and it does what the level tried to do, but way better. I really like Spectrum Cyclone to begin with, but Jamboree takes it to the next level. This level has a consistent, high quality design style, as expected from Just John, who is one of my favorite creators. The color choices in this level are great too, with a wide variety throughout it. The pulses are also very well done. The sense of progression is also very good, with the changes in the song being used to a complete advantage. When it comes to the gameplay, the sync is very good, and the gameplay just flows really well overall, while not having very many game mode changes. I really like levels like this in the gameplay sense, where there's a click pattern that happens over and over, but doesn't break your hand like Wasaretta. If the pre-drop isn't the best thing ever, I found it to be harder than the drop by a significant margin. But for a level in the top 150, this is near the best you can get. If you're looking for a first list demon to go for, I would seriously recommend that you give Jamboree a try. The next level on this list may not come as a surprise that it made this video, but it might be surprising because of how low it placed. Storming Summit by Colorbolt and More is a great level, but I think it could be better. I'm going to go through the flaws first before I get to how amazing this level is. I think that some of the choices to make portals invisible is a massive mistake, and this level does have some choke points. But then again, I can't really get that good of an analysis of the gameplay since I'm not good enough to play it. People who can play it have called it very fun though, so take my opinion with a grain of salt. Storming Summit absolutely excels in theming though, being themed after the popular game Celeste. I don't know much about the game, but I kinda get how the game works because of this level, about climbing a mountain. Pixel art from Celeste is also incorporated into the level, which I know is controversial, because it's literally taken from the game using a converter for GD. But it adds so much to the level, and I feel like this level really wouldn't be the same without it. The decoration is also great, with art that isn't messy, which is definitely easier said than done. I've tried, it's really hard. Overall, Storming Summit was definitely worth the wait. Now we just need a Hollow Knight themed level by Colorable. The next level had been in the works for a while, similar to Storming Summit. Black Flag is one of the best levels to release this year, and it definitely deserves a spot on this list. Let's start with the amazing decoration. Probably my favorite part about this level is how realistic it looks. It looks like you're going through a pirate ship in the middle of a hurricane, with it just getting more and more strong as the drop goes on. The end of the drop also shows you going through a battle, with smoke and cannons passing by you. The intensity just builds and builds in Black Flag, which is one of my favorite parts about it. The theming is also very clear and well made. It's also very unique, and as I haven't seen a pirate-themed level since Captain's Voyage by Ancient Anubis or something. When it comes to the gameplay, I haven't played it much, but one of my friends, Chip, has. Back when he was on 60Hz with his hearts being gumshot, he was able to do 55 to 100. He said, Black Flag is literally one of the most consistent and fun levels I've ever tried. The fact that it's in the top 150 and is accessible is insane, which really shows how good this level is gameplay-wise. Side note, this isn't an exact quote, but this is basically the general idea of what he was trying to say. I really think Black Flag is a standout against a bunch of glow levels that take this long, and people should really use their time more on making themed extreme demons, rather than just decorating to decorate, in a way. Not to say glow levels are bad by any means. For example, Emptiness by Arcid and more is a great level, but levels do need to be themed more, especially extremes. This next level may come as a surprise. In fact, you might not know that this level exists at all, even though it's considered to be the most fun extreme demon in the game. Endless Stream is overall a great level. Oh yeah, and it was made on mobile. Let's start with the gameplay, which is probably why you know this level. It has great progression with an incredibly intense ending and an exciting drop. The pre-drop is probably the worst part of the level, but it would be the best part in almost all other levels. Endless Stream also has good balancing with very few, if at all, choke points. And then the decoration. People usually only talk about the gameplay when talking about this level, but the decoration is honestly amazing. Dreamtide is one of the most underrated design creators in my opinion. I think he's up there with people like Alkali. All of the blocks are clean in Endless Stream, and the glow is used perfectly, along with color choice to make the blocks stand out. The theming could be better, but that's just a minor nitpick. I mean, I did just finish reviewing Black Flag, so my standards are probably too high. But I think I wouldn't be able to pick out a clear theme without knowing the name. Again, this is just a minor thing, and I still love this level. If you've beaten something around the difficulty of Bloodbath and you're looking for a good next hardest, Endless Stream is a great choice. There are only 4 levels that are in the top 75 on this list, and 3 of them are in the top 4. They are also all Korean, showing the true talent of the country. Anyway, at number 4 is Verdant Landscape, a solo top 20 by Nisha, which is also the hardest level in the top 10. The first thing I wanted to bring up is how accessible this level is for how hard it is. If I look at other levels around its difficulty, I see nothing that comes close to how playable this level is for someone who hasn't already beaten a top 50 or something. Levels like Kitos and Walter White just can't be played consistently as Verdant Landscape. Technical, who got really unlucky with this level, still gave it a 100 out of 100 enjoyment. The gameplay also has near perfect sync without being spammy, due to the nature of the song. Speaking of the song, it's a banger by Zomu, one of the better songs of the style that I've heard. It works with the level's theme perfectly too. Both the level and the song remind me of that one perfect day in May, when the temperature is perfect and all the trees are starting to grow their leaves back after a long winter. Some people have criticized this level's decoration, but I really don't think it's that bad. I actually really like how it uses objects that remind people of crappy early 2.0 levels, but makes it look good. The decoration also isn't repetitive throughout almost 3 minutes, which is easier said than done. The block designs truly show the best of design style, having variation with unique block choices, but still being coherent. Verdant Landscape is an absolute masterpiece, and it's no surprise that many people go for this level despite how hard it is. Up next is one of the most high energy levels I've ever seen. It's none other than the sequel to another banger list demon, Eternal Moment. Terminux. Where do I even start with this level? The gameplay uses a melodic dubstep song perfectly, which is easier said than done. This is because the drops are made up of notes that are held mainly, which provides for some pretty boring gameplay when it's done correctly. But this level maintains sync while also being exciting and focus centering throughout. The ending is also very intense with hard timings, and also the warp click is the final click. The decoration is very clean throughout, with many talented creators who all did their job very well. The main color scheme is blue, which is usually viewed as a generic color choice, but Terminux uses many different types of the color, making the level look varied while still being cohesive. All the flashes in this level are well synced along with the gameplay. Something I wanted to bring up is how it works as a sequel to Eternal Moment. Terminux takes the ideas that EM has and really makes them shine, while Eternal Moment doesn't use the nature of the song nearly as well in my opinion. Overall, this is a standout compared to the rest of the main list, and I highly recommend it if you're looking for a hard level to go for. Just missing the top spot is the oldest level on the list, but if I had to take a guess at when it was created, I would say April 2022 instead of April 2020. The sequel to Cyclone, Hurricane, is a colorful mega collab by Binox and more. I feel like it does even better than the third level in the trilogy, Tornado, which I feel like doesn't live up to Hurricane. Maybe that's because this level is near perfection. The decoration has perfect coherency while still looking completely different and being unique. And that decoration is nothing short of amazing. Enzora's part is incredibly clean with great effects as expected. Quums is also a really talented creator who should get more attention, because his part is probably the best one. The designs are complex while not looking like a core level, and the pulses blend all the details to make it really glowy in the best way possible. The gameplay is also very fun and flowy, with it being similar to Quayar but way better executed. Overall, Hurricane just has really consistent quality and doesn't have a single bad part. This level takes what Cyclone did and made it so much better and still packs the same intensity. Now, on to my favorite extreme demon in Geometry Dash. This was probably the easiest decision on the list, surprisingly. I started this list knowing that I would put this level in the top spot. It's hard to find not just an extreme demon, but a level that tops my pick for the top spot. Asphera is 4.5 minutes of perfection by a very talented Korean team of creators. I'm going to start with the song, which is one of my favorites of all time. The vocal chop is done very well and sets the energy of the song, leading to an intense build-up that brings you into a high energy drop. This drop is amazing with melodies that are nice to listen to, accompanied by classic complex growls. The first drop is the same as the last one, but that's not that big of an issue. The middle of the song is pretty chill, but there's one future bass-like part that sounds really cool, and stands out from other songs of its kind. I'm spending way too long describing the track for this level. Let's get into the level itself. Probably my favorite part about the gameplay is how accessible it is. Not only does it have great flow, but if you spend enough time in practice, it gets really consistent, a lot more than any other top 30. While the balancing could use some work, it's not that big of a problem, and there are only a few parts that stand out as being harder than the rest, such as the part at 56%. But honestly, in a level this long, I like there to be break parts and harder parts. The end of Asphera is incredibly intense too. Cycwall really nailed it as expected. When it comes to the decoration, this level also does well. The cohesion between the parts is amazing, and how varied they are too is insane. No two parts look similar. A part I wanted to focus on is Xenos. This part is placed perfectly at the start of the drop, and has a really vibrant section overall. It looks like something read out in Knight Rider, but more simple, which works better with Asphera's style in my opinion. The end screen stands out as being one of the best ever in addition. The cloud art is realistic, and the blades look very clean too, with glow being used really well. The sphere in the middle is also very well made, and actually Asphera means sphere in Spanish. All in all, this level is amazing. I recommend it as a hardest, a way to improve your skill set, or just a level that will make you enjoy the game if you haven't in a while. Anyway, that's it for this video. I really hope you guys enjoyed this, as it took a very long time to write. If you did like this, it would mean a lot if you liked and subscribed to the channel. Tell me what your opinions are in the comments, and yeah, I don't know. See you guys in the next video.